Hello everyone, it's Sadie Weldon. I have something I'd like to share with you. But before I do, I would like to explain why I do what I do. I hear a real echo, I hope y'all don't. Years ago, I think 2016, when I began to make videos back then, the Lord was really twisting my arm and telling me to do this, and I didn't want to do it. I was resisting Him. Basically, maybe fear of man, putting my face out there, or whatever. I was just not doing it. But there's a prophetic guy I watched named Doug Addison. So around the same time, I felt like the Lord, through him, he was talking about God was really fixing to use his kids on the internet. And then John Kilpatrick, one of the prophetic words that he gave for 2016 was a dream that he had had. And the dream that he had had was he saw a fish, or a hook. He saw a hook and a line. And so when he began to seek the Lord for that, the Lord just told him, he said, I'm about to light up the internet. So you got a net when you go fishing too sometimes. I'm about to light up the internet with my kids with a hook and on that line. So that was my cue to, okay, God, I'll do it. So there's a little history of why I do these things. So today what I want to share with you is a dream I had many years ago, which the Lord reminded me of. And this is basically what is happening today. It was happening then, but people were just not aware it was happening. But it's in your faces today. So I think it's going to help some of you actually take the plunge to come out from under what's happening. So in this dream, it was like we were in this long line of people, kind of like when cattle at a market, one at a time. They send them in there basically and sell them. Well, these people were in line to go to their death basically, and they were just complying, just complying, and they were like little zombies, little obedient zombies, almost like a false martyrhood. That's what I was feeling, like a false martyrhood. Well, clearly, right here, there was a huge gaping hole in the chain link fence. And all you had to do was walk out to lush grass, greener pastures, trees, freedom. And I believe my husband was with me in the dream, and we're like, you do not have to go to your death. Come on out of here. Come out. Let's go. And they were like, oh, don't. It was such deception. It was brainwashing. That's what it was. This is what's been happening in our world. So, basically, I'm just going to read what I wrote the other day when the Lord reminded me of this. So this is what's happened to people today. They just comply without a fight. Without even a fight. Wearing those masks. Being afraid. That's propaganda to make you afraid. Satan is the king of fear and deception, is he not? So they have been brainwashed by the propaganda, and they won't even think for themselves. See, even in the church, people don't think for themselves. They believe the lies over the truth and just fall in line, just like the devil wanted them to. And this is what's going on. Now, this is why the Q Army is so vital. Because it's outside the church walls, because the church is not, they're not telling the people the truth. They're not doing it. And I can sit here and say this because my husband and I are pastors of a church. And I've tried to do this. And it's like coming against this wall of, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. This is what we're talking about. This is where the world's been. This is where God's people have been. But God's changing that. He's changing that. People are waking up. This whole process that we've been going through with the shutdown, God is using this, I don't want to say I'm just going to say the virus. Because YouTube's going to shut you down. Facebook's going to shut you down. Use that other word. You know what I'm saying. And so the Lord is flipping it on the enemy. People are waking up. They're seeking God as never before. And they're trying to find out the truth. And so God is using these things to wake people up, to return to God, and to come out of this stuff. So it's a beautiful thing that our God is flipping everything on the enemy. He's given us weapons of warfare. We are created in the image of God to take power away from the enemy, and this is what you and I need to do. So I just want to bless you. I want to empower you, and I encourage you to share this message with people, because if this is where you are and where you've been, it's time to come out. It's time to come out of it. You're more powerful than you know. You do not have to put up with it. You do not have to live this way, and you need to get in the fight. Because as we unite, we go stronger and stronger and more powerful to overtake the enemy and his plans. And here's the other thing that's beautiful. I know there's a video out there that this pastor gave recently, and he sent it, and it was out, but it was all this destruction. It was all this awful things that were going to happen or could happen, and the first one did come true, and then he had this other one, okay? I'm not even going to go into some of the stuff he talked about, but the truth of that is, I'm going to share you something really cool. Because, see, the Lord always reveals to his prophets the plans of the enemy. This is what he did with the prophet Elijah in the Bible. So, what happened was, they were wanting to know, who is telling our plans that we talk about in secret in the king's chambers? And one of them said, well, it's Elijah, a prophet of God. So what do? They gather up a vast army, and they come out after Elijah and his servant. They're just out there alone, right? And here's this vast army coming against them. And Elijah's servant is terrified. And he says, don't fear. There's more with us than with them. And so he prayed. He said, God, open his eyes. And that's my prayer today. God, open the people's eyes to see the truth. So God opened his eyes. And there was definitely more with them than there was the vast army. There were chariots of fire, horses and angels there to fight. This is what's in the spirit realm for you and I. We have a host of heaven's armies to send out. We need to be doing it. You'll be very encouraged. There is more with us than with them. And more of God's people are waking up, coming out of this nonsense, finding out who they are, finding out who King Jesus is. He's a man of war who fights for his people. So with that, I also want to share something really cool with you, because several years ago, when God was having me write devotionals every Sunday morning, I got up this one day, and I said, okay, God, what do you want me to write out today? And he goes, I'm your huckleberry. And I said, what? Because when a huckleberry, I was like, oh, I think that's that movie, with Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. And so, and Doc Holliday, he steps in and says, I'm your huckleberry, and many of you have seen the movie, so you know what I'm talking about. Well, the definition of huckleberry is one who steps in for you when your enemy is too strong for you. That's our King Jesus. But he has empowered you and I. He gave us that power. He said, Jesus himself said, I give you power to trample on scorpions and over all the power of the enemy. That's you and that's me. And we need to take that power and we need to use it, knowing that you're created in the image of God and you have that power. So I encourage you, come out from under this nonsense. You don't have to live like that. You don't have to listen to the propaganda of the big pharma. You don't have to listen to the propaganda of the media. You don't have to listen to the propaganda of evil government. Say no. Resist it. Resist the devil, because they are controlled by evil entities in the spirit realm. They bow down to them and they worship them. We worship King Jesus, and we're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore. We don't have to. We don't have to. The book I wrote, Mysteries Unsealed, Secrets Revealed, that's what it's all about. Taking power away from the enemy, defeating the enemy, and coming into a new promised land. We serve an awesome God. And I encourage you, come out from the crap. Lord, I just pray with the people. Empower them to hear this message. Empower them to make the choice. I'm going to walk through that fence. I'm not going to comply anymore. I'm not going to listen to those lies. I'm going to find out the truth for myself. You seek the King. You seek the truth. You're going to know the truth for yourself. I love you guys. You have a wonderful, blessed, victorious day.